Hey, you! Do you have toxic people in your life?
It's Marta
Mondays. Thinking about toxic people or being drained by energetic vampires, which is basically what toxic people are. Family members really know what gets under our skin. Remember to surround yourself with people who uplift you. All of that has had compound effects on my self-esteem and self-worth, and I feel stronger and stronger every day. They want to project their slimy negativity and toxicity onto you. They want to drain you of your energy, and you have to be mindful and really create a bubble around yourself. Have you ever dealt with a toxic person in your life? Haters gonna hate, 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 hate. Hey, KoalaSubbies. I think the biggest clue to identifying a toxic person is thinking about the way that they make you feel. After you spend time with these people, do they make you feel emotionally drained? Do these people make you feel sad about yourself? Before I start talking about how I eliminated toxic people in my life and the peace that it has brought me, and maybe a little bit of the identifying process of how I went about that and the steps I took to get there, I want to identify what a toxic person leaves you feeling like and how they treat you. It may seem obvious, but sometimes it's a little bit tricky to see if the person that you're trying to figure out is toxic, really is toxic. Think about after you spend time with this person. After you spend time with a toxic person, if you're asking yourself whether that person is toxic, think about how they make you feel after you spend time with them. Do you feel energetically drained? Do these people make you feel bad about yourself? These people may also feel like they're judging you constantly. Toxic people often exhibit passive aggressive behavior. Toxic people will manipulate you and gaslight you often as well. These people are overly aggressive and often very self-centered. Toxic people are often very controlling and demanding of your time. They often love to guilt trip you about not giving them enough time. Guilt tripping is something that toxic people really love to do. If you feel like you've experienced toxic people, I think answering these questions that I've just stated can help you really solidify whether that someone is a toxic person or not. And then you may be able to take steps to remove this person out of your life. And while sometimes it's easier said than done, it's never really easy because often we do have some sort of relationship with these kinds of people, whether they're friends or lovers or family or coworkers. I feel like family and coworkers is especially tough because you are forced to see these people. So there must be a sort of boundary that you have to create, and I will get into how to do that. I have eliminated all toxic people in my life, and when I find that someone may be toxic, I try to, as early as possible, hone in on what kind of person they are. Maybe if you've watched my videos, you know that I value quality over quantity in friendships. I think this is very important. So it's really important to find quality people and surround yourself with quality people in your life, because coworkers and family, unfortunately, these are not people you get to choose, but friends are like family that we get to choose. And I think that's such a blessing, because we get to make those decisions about whether these people are good for us, whether they're good for our souls, whether they're worthy of being in our life and worthy of our time and receiving of our beautiful energy to create that connection with them. So truly choosing your friends wisely is a step I highly recommend. After I've let go of all the toxic people in my life, I have felt so much peace. I sleep easier at night. I don't ask myself these questions, because often toxic people have a way of making you think that maybe there's something wrong with you. It's almost the same way that narcissists will gaslight you. Toxic people often exhibit this behavior of making you doubt yourself, of making you question your values, and even attack you personally and your character. And a good person who is not toxic, especially if they're sensitive, you know, it can be hurtful. So it's really important to be able to discern that, to know that your beautiful life doesn't have to be surrounded by toxic people. And while it is a lot harder with coworkers and family, and I'm really lucky that I haven't dealt with that so much, and the toxic coworkers I did let go of, because I let myself go of the job because I didn't want to be surrounded by that negativity. And there's a whole separate video that I made about that. But I just want to say that ever since letting go of all sorts of toxic bonds and relationships in my life, I feel peace in my life, and I deserve that peace, because life is so short, and I don't want to spend any of my time thinking about toxic people or being drained by energetic vampires, which is basically what toxic people are. So the first step that I have for you when dealing with a toxic person, once you've identified that individual as toxic, is to really stand your ground and stay firm, and let that person know that you feel that they are a toxic person and you don't want to be around this energy anymore. And toxic people are really good about saying, oh, I'll change, and making promises just to keep you around. But it's really hard for toxic people to change, I believe, because I think maybe they're not even aware of their own toxicity. But you have to remain firm and you have to stand your ground, because your peace of mind is worth everything, and not to chase around with these people and their mind games, because toxic people may make promises of change behavior just to keep you around a little longer, but really they're only going to use that to manipulate you in the long run. So it is absolutely crucial that you maintain your ground and let them know that either you have to create boundaries or just completely eliminate that person from your life. If you've decided to create this boundary to eliminate a toxic person in your life, you have to take efforts and create systems to help yourself reinforce that boundary. So, for example, blocking someone, deleting their number, cutting off all communication, however you can, is going to help reinforce that boundary and slowly bring more peace into your life. When you're dealing with a toxic person in your life, unfortunately, that negative energy that they emit transfers onto you. So when you are going to make this change of releasing that person and no longer being in their toxic energy, another thing that really can help you is having a good support system. So take time to talk to your friends, your family, your loved ones, to confide in them that this is something that you're going through. And most likely you will find that these good souls perhaps have dealt with a situation like that. And even if not, if they're a true friend or loved one, they will truly listen to you. That's the most wonderful gift of friendship and loved ones, is that they give you that gift of a listening ear by truly being in active listening mode and just truly listening to what you have to hear. And even you just venting about what you're going through and this toxic situation is gonna make you feel so much better. And knowing that you have this support system of beautiful souls that are not toxic is only gonna lift you higher. And not to mention, they may keep you accountable as far as your boundaries. So remember to surround yourself with people who uplift you, with people who bring out the best in you, with people who truly bring you joy. Because you know what? You deserve it. If no one's told you that, you deserve it. Another reason why I think it's so important to let go of toxic people is toxic people have a way to isolate you and manipulate you, but they can really isolate you from your true friends and family. And you don't want to be taken away from your beautiful soul. So guard your heart and really be mindful of people that have this energy and don't want what's best for you. Perhaps if you're dealing with a toxic coworker, keep things really brief with them and be really firm. When they try to downrail you with some sort of awful story or some gossip or whatever toxic thing that they want to bring into your life, just be really firm and, look them in the eye and say, I'm sorry, I have something else to do. And just be firm and move on, especially if this is a workplace type of situation or even family, because I'm sure that toxic family members unfortunately exist. And, at family gatherings, we have to deal with it. I've heard so many Thanksgiving stories where this happens. And so I think just taking a time out and going somewhere else, a different corner. If someone asks you a disrespectful question, just look them in the eye and say, that's none of your business. I will not be discussing that. And just keeping firm. That's going to really create that bubble around you where these toxic people can't further nag their toxic ways at you. And this one may be a little bit controversial, but I believe in the power of therapy and self-improvement. So perhaps maybe whoever this toxic person in your life is, maybe they're not even aware of the tapes that they're playing back, of the toxicity that they're emitting. So maybe it can sound a little bit crass or whatnot, but maybe in a delicate way, you could suggest for them to get help, to get therapy, and maybe even by somehow slightly saying that you could benefit from some therapy. Who cares if they get offended? Maybe the message will resonate and stick, and maybe they will find therapy, and maybe one day they won't be a toxic person. I mean, I like to believe in the best. I do feel that, unfortunately, toxicity is a hard thing to get out of, but how wonderful would it be if this person does make a turnaround in their life and becomes cognizant of their own toxic behaviors and then uses that mindfulness to change for the better, and to think that you could be the catalyst in doing that. That's a powerful thought. Often people exhibit toxic behavior because of lashing out, because of projecting that they do, because of their own issues. So perhaps if they were to get therapy and heal those inner wounds and deal with their own trauma, it would help them to stop projecting onto others and therefore stopping their toxic ways. Another thing that really helps is staying calm and maintaining your calm aura when a toxic person tries to instigate you or provoke you. I feel that toxic people have almost a talent at provoking us and at making us feel angered because they keep provoking us. There are these things called mirror neurons where we often reflect back the behavior and actions of others because that's just how we're wired. So a person that is toxic and trying to provoke you, it is easy to go down that path of anger and frustration and stoop down to their level, if you will. But if you stay grounded and calm and remain in that zone, it is very likely that they won't be able to provoke you, and perhaps at least they will leave you alone. And so I know it's easier said than done, especially with family members who may be toxic, because I feel that family members really know what gets under our skin. Some tips that may help you is just slow breathing, maintaining calm, recentering yourself. And if you have to physically take yourself out of that situation and go to another room, do that, whatever it takes, because you don't deserve to be dealing with toxic people. I think unclenching your jaw muscles, and maybe if you even have to tell yourself a little tantra in your mind, whatever it takes, these little things will help you deal with toxic people. Another thing with toxic people is to realize that it's not our job to save them. You really ought to realize that no one is here to save anyone. We are all here to live our lives as best as we can. And while we can feel concern for that person or want what's best for them, we can do that through suggesting therapy or whatnot, but it is not our job to save someone. And so in that same way, it is not our job to help fix or heal that person that's toxic. And that's probably a job that could never be done on our own. And it's not our job to fix anyone. Another thing with toxic people is you can't be too nice. And that again goes back to being firm and setting boundaries. I know that I used to struggle a little bit with that because I'm a pretty nice girl. But I realize that there's people that are not worth my energy, and my life is too short and precious for me to play Miss Nice Girl to someone that is going to take advantage of me and spew their toxicity on me. So I don't even entertain conversations with these people. I move on, I set my boundaries, and I don't allow these people in my bubble and in my world. Luckily, in today's world, there's a lot of information out there on the information highway, aka the internet, aka how you're watching me now. Hit that subscribe button. If you're dealing with some really bad toxicity in your life and you don't know how to go about it, besides the tips and things you read, perhaps do seek a therapist, because they may be able to kind of gauge your personality and give you some tools to help fight that. But I know that for me, I've become stronger and stronger in my life as time goes by. The biggest two toxic relationships in my life were one with a friend / coworker, and I completely cut those ties. And while there's a weird sentiment of nostalgia because I've known this person for so long, but my peace of mind and my happiness is not worth, hanging on to a term of, oh, but I've known them for so long. 99% of the time, it's some sort of trauma that they have not addressed and they're projecting. But again, that's not on us to be the victim of them and their projections. So you have to really guard yourself. You have to really protect yourself. It's like the evil eye, that symbol in many cultures. There really is something to that. There are people out there that they don't want what's best for you. They want to project their slimy negativity and toxicity onto you. They want to drain you of your energy, and you have to be mindful and really create a bubble around yourself. I feel that meditation helps, affirmations help, staying grounded in your truth and your beliefs and your values as a person, and knowing your worth, all of that is going to help strengthen you, and even being physically strong. Even for me, weightlifting and becoming an athlete, all of that has had compound effects on my self-esteem and self-worth, and I feel stronger and stronger every day. And that too helps me. It makes it easier for me to not let those people in, because I'm fortified in all sorts of ways. I have a strong body, I have a strong mind, I have a strong character, and I'm not going to let someone that's full of negativity and hate bring me down. I'm not even going to look at the person or let that person into my life. And maybe 23-year-old me didn't have the strength to do that. Some sort of rite of passage of life, of becoming older and stronger. We all hopefully get there, and I'm just here to give you that fortitude, give you that inspiration from my own story, to let you know that you can do it. None of us need or deserve toxic people in our life. They are leeches. Know that life is beautiful and short, and you deserve to be surrounded by people who love you, by people who want what's best for you, by people who make you feel good. Toxic people are absolutely worth cutting out of your life. And while some of these steps may be difficult, in the end, the price you pay is your own peace of mind. There is nothing more beautiful than your own peace of mind, by having a peaceful life, to rest your head on the pillow at the end of the day and know that you're a good person, and that no one and no toxicity can reach you. It's a wonderful feeling, and I want all of us to feel good. That's part of why I'm making this video, is because I care about all the good souls. I don't know all you good souls, making out this message and sending it out to the universe. Whoever is watching this video, hey, you deserve to feel good. And fuck those haters, and fuck those toxic people and leeches. I hope this video was of value, and I hope you never forget to let your light shine. This life is full of difficulties, and we don't need to be making it even harder on ourselves by staying surrounded by haters, by toxic people, by energetic vampires, by narcissists, by all of that yucky stuff. Focus on your goodness, focus on your light, create that bubble around you, your character and your body and your spirit. God forbid you have to work with some, or there's some in your family. Maybe some of these tips were useful, but I tell you, now that I don't have negativity or toxic people in my life, I'm so content, I'm so at peace, and it's such a wonderful feeling. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will not stop saying it. And until next time, have a fabulous day. I'll see you on the next Marta Mondays. Thank you. Mwah. Okay, this is some real toxicity. I can speak English.
I can speak English.
Oh my god, this is so annoying. So, bye guys.